Vandeham Shri Guru Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsam.
Krishna, dear devotees, welcome back to yet another fascinating episode of Pariprashna, episode number 55. So last episode, we have started our discussion on Canto number 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the very first chapter, we saw the genealogical table, the descendants of Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, specifically his 3 daughters. So the daughters of Akuti, the children of Akuti from Prajapati Ruchi, and then we also saw Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Although in the previous canto we talked about Kapila Dev, but however they had 9 daughters, so we talked about them as well. And then the last daughter Prasuti with Prajapati Daksha, they had 16 daughters, and in describing that, Maitreya Rishi said Sati left her body and she did not have any children. So that triggered a question by Vidura, Mahatma Vidura. So in the second chapter, we discussed how there is this great sacrifice that is going on, and Daksha Prajapati enters. Everybody rises in respect except for 2, Brahma and Lord Shiva. So Brahma not rising up, Daksha was okay with that, but however, he took offense that his son-in-law, that Lord Shiva would not stand up and give him respect. So he out of his outrage, he blasphemes Lord Shiva and then curses him. And then the followers of Shiva, the followers of Daksha, so there was all this curses and counter curses flying all around. And then the celebrities, the universal demigods, they finish the sacrifice. So what happens after that? That is where we are going to continue today. So that was just building the context, like where we were and where we are going to go next. So in this episode, our intention is to cover 2 wonderful chapters, chapters 3 and chapter 4 from Canto 4. So chapter 3 is titled The Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati, and chapter 4 is titled Sati Quits Her Body. So as always, we have a lot of ground to cover. So without further ado, let's go ahead and inquire and humbly learn from His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saurabh Pracharak Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, this chapter number 3 starts off by Maitreya Rishi explaining what has happened. So I'll just quote the shloka here. Maitreya Uvacha Sada Vitvishatorevam Kalo Vaidriyamanayoho Jamatu Shvashurasyapi Sumahan Atichakrame. Maitreya continued, in this manner, the tension between the father-in-law and son-in-law, Daksha and Lord Shiva, continued for a considerably long period. So Maharaj, in the last episode, we stopped at the point where Lord Shiva was so peaceful, so tolerant, he does not react, he just gets up and leaves the arena. But however, 1,000-year-long sacrifice continues on without the presence of Daksha and Shiva. They complete the sacrifice. But here Maitreya Rishi is telling that this tension, the cold war between Daksha and Shiva has been going on for a considerably long period. So I don't think Shiva not getting up, that itself is the root cause of Daksha's envy if it is really continuing for such a long time. So what is the root cause of envy of Daksha towards Lord Shiva?
Envy is a characteristic of a person in mode of ignorance. Daksha is envious. And so what triggers the envy is there can be many things, not 1 or 2 things. It can be any reason. So Lord Shiva not standing up when Daksha came, that triggered the envy which Daksha already had in his heart.
Okay.
So it is not that he became envious because of Lord Shiva not getting up when he came. Like a snake, it is sleeping, and for some reason it hears some sound, then immediately the snake becomes very alert and then wants to sting a person. So it is not that the snake had no envy or poison. It was there before only. So those who are envious, they require reason for becoming or expressing their enviousness.
Mm.
So Daksha is envious, and then he required a reason to show his envy. So this is how he showed.
Mm. Okay.
And long period, the Cold War, what you said, between Daksha and Lord Shiva.
Uh-huh.
The Cold War was from Daksha's side, not from Lord Shiva's side.
Right.
Lord Shiva is Atmarama. So he need not be very envious of Daksha. He is self-satisfied, very peaceful, no problem. But Daksha wanted to do something more, more insult, inflict more insult. So that is how the third chapter begins.
Right. Okay. Very well. So the second shloka, Maharaj. Yadabhishikto dakshastu brahmana paramishthina prajapatinam sarvesham adhipatye smayo bhavat. When Lord Brahma appointed Daksha, the chief of all the Prajapatis, the progenitors of population, Daksha became very much puffed up. This is very intriguing, Maharaj. We would expect that after all the drama exhibited by Daksha, he would get a demotion. How come he's getting a promotion instead?
So if somebody creates an offense or commits an offense towards Vaishnava like Lord Shiva, then the punishment should be very grave. So for the punishment for a person who is having a post, he is fall down from the post, fall down from the position. But the offense which Daksha committed towards Lord Shiva was so grave that if he falls down from a lower position to a further lower position, the result of the offense cannot be really experienced by him. So, because if you fall from the first floor of the building, then maybe you will get some hurt. That's all. But if you fall from the 10th floor, so for the person to fall from the 10th floor, he has to go to the 10th floor, isn't it?
Yes.
So promotion is actually the result of one's offenses. Now, one offense leads to other offense. So that the previous offense, the result of the previous offense can be given. That is why he became more proud of being promoted. Brahma came and appointed, okay, take this promotion so that you can go to the 10th floor and then fall from there. That's it.
Wow, we should be so careful. So sometimes even when some things are going on well with our life, we don't know what exactly ultimately it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Maharaj, next here it is said, Daksha began a sacrifice named Vajapeya and he became excessively confident of his support by Lord Brahma. He then performed another great sacrifice named Brihaspati Sava. So Maharaj, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 17, Krishna talks about the types of sacrifices, sacrifice in the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. So I'm quoting here from 17.11 Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Afalakankshirbhiryajño vididrishto ya ijyate yashtavyam eveti manaha samadhaya sasatvikaha. Of sacrifices, that sacrifice performed according to duty and to scriptural rules and with no expectation of reward is of the nature of goodness. Abhisandhaya tu phalam dhambhartam api chaivayat ijyate bharata shreshtha tam yajñam vidhi rajasam. But that sacrifice performed for some material end or benefit or performed ostentatiously out of pride is of the nature of passion, O chief of the Bharatas. Vidhihinam asrishtannam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yajñam tamasam parichakshate. And that sacrifice performed in defiance of scriptural injunctions in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, and no remunerations are made to the priest, and which is faithless, that sacrifice is of the nature of ignorance. So here Daksha Prajapati is going on performing one after another big sacrifices. So which category of sacrifice is he performing?
See, sacrifices are also categorized in mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, number one. There may be a person who is performing a sacrifice in mode of goodness, but he himself is in mode of passion or ignorance.
Oh.
So the intricacies of the modes of nature are very complicated. Not only there may be a sacrifice or there may be an activity in mode of goodness, but within that there is goodness, passion, goodness, ignorance. So in this way, very complicated to say.
Okay.
But the subject matter is about a person, the sacrificer in mode of ignorance.
Okay.
So these sacrifices, which are for the devatas, are in mode of passion, or pitris, they are in mode of ignorance. And the sacrifices which are for purification of heart are in mode of goodness.
Okay.
Generally, these sacrifices are done, all the three kinds of sacrifices are done depending on the Yajaman's karma. Yajamanasya karma. Who is performing the sacrifice means who is getting the sacrifice performed, Yajaman. So depending on his desire, the rishis, they decide what kind of sacrifices to be done. But the subject matter is not what kind of sacrifice was done. The sacrificer, the person who is sacrificing, the Yajaman, he is in mode of ignorance. That is the subject.
Got it. Okay, Maharaj. So the sages said here, so he's performing the sacrifice, all the universal celebrities are on their way, they have mounted their spiritual planes and with their husbands, they decorated themselves very nicely. And Sati is witnessing all this, so she is seeing all of them going. So it is said the chaste lady Sati, the daughter of Daksha, heard the heavenly denizens flying in the sky, conversing about the great sacrifice being performed by her father. When she saw that from all directions, the beautiful wives of the heavenly denizens, their eyes very beautifully glittering, were near her residence and were going to the sacrifice dressed in fine clothing and ornamented with earrings and necklaces with lockets, she approached her husband, the master of the bhutas, in great anxiety and spoke as follows. So the 8th verse here. Sati uvacha prajapateste shvashurasya sampratam niryapito yajna mahotsava kila vayam cha tatrabhi Saramavamate yadyarthitami vibudha vrajantihi. Sati said, my dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law is now executing great sacrifices and all the demigods having been invited by him are going there. If you desire, we may also go. So the way she asks, why does she use such a roundabout way of asking? The thing is she wants to go, but she's telling, if you desire, we may also go. And also she could have directly said, my father is performing the sacrifice. Why this approach of your father-in-law is performing the sacrifices?
She knows that her husband, Lord Shiva, would not allow. But she has a great desire.
Yeah.
So she has to convince him that I need to go. And for that, she gives many reasons. Because Lord Shiva would say that if we go there, we will be insulted. So then she says, no. The purpose of going is that if we go, my sisters are going along with their husbands. Then if I go alone, then people will laugh at me. So you also come, so we both will be worshipped. I want to be worshipped along with my husband, my desire. So that is what was her argument, that you also have to come along with me.
Interesting. So it's very nice, and also the way Prabhupada writes the purports is very not only meaningful, quite humorous at times. Like for example, here in the 9th verse, I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrificial ceremony with their husbands just to see their relatives. I also desire to decorate myself with the ornaments given to me by my father and go there with you to participate in that assembly. So Prabhupada is highlighting this, how she specifically said ornaments given by my father. So she's taking a dig at Shiva that you are such a renunciant, you have not given me any ornaments. And it's very hilarious here. Prabhupada is writing, just it was fortunate for Sati that Lord Shiva did not take the ornaments from his wife and spend them for ganja. Because those who imitate Lord Shiva in smoking ganja exploit everything from household affairs. They take all of their wife's property and spend on smoking, intoxication, and similar other activities.
Yeah, Bhaktivedanta purports
Yes.
to bring a social aspect to it.
Yes.
That most of the people, they do that in villages and some places. Where they're addicted, they just take the money of the wife and then they go and then they take ganja, they drink alcohol and then beat the wife and all kinds of things.
Yes.
He just brings a social aspect to it.
So Maharaj, he gives many other reasons. Were you going to say something else, Maharaj, in this context?
No.
So she says, my sisters, my mother's sisters, and their husbands and other affectionate relatives must be assembled there. So if I go, I shall be able to see them, and I shall be able to see the flapping flags and the performance of the sacrifice by the great sages. For these reasons, my dear husband, I am very much anxious to go. So Maharaj is not an ordinary woman. Although she's talking like that, when she's Sati, she is the embodiment of external energy of the Lord. She's Durga Devi herself. But when we hear such words from her, like, oh, I want to decorate myself with the ornaments given by my father, I want to see my relatives. So, how do we really understand this in the proper perspective?
Great woman or not so great woman or any woman. Woman is a woman only, na?
Yes.
Woman is a woman. So they have the desire. The desire is there.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in having the desire. But what is wrong is not to follow the orders of the husband. That's the problem. So when Lord Shiva asked her, oh, you have a desire to get some gifts or what? No, I don't have any desire to get some gifts and all. What I got to do with the gifts? To show that I'm renounced also. No, I have a desire to see my mother. She loves me so much. So I have a desire to see my mother. And I have a desire to see all those people who have come there to perform the sacrifice. It's a great sacrifice. Sages have come. So I want to go and see them. So she also wants to hide that I don't have desire, but in spite of she having the desire, she wants to show her vairagya. I'm not interested in all these things. Actually, I'm interested in my mother. My mother's affection.
So she further says, this manifested cosmos is a wonderful creation of the interaction of the three material modes or the external energy of the Supreme Lord. This truth is fully known to you, yet I am but a poor woman, and as you know, I am not conversant with the truth. Therefore, I wish to see my birthplace once more. Externally, it seems like she's very modest, she's very humble. She says, I'm just a poor woman, you are great, you know the truth, but I don't know. But is this some kind of emotional manipulation?
Yes. And every woman does it. And they have the birthright to do that.
Yeah.
Now here you find that how Lord Shiva says, hey, what kind of illusion you have towards your relatives? Are you attached to your relatives or what? Like a common person? Then she says, you see, for you it is not a problem, but I am a woman. So that is the reason Lord Ramchandra appears. And then conducts a life of a human being. He acts as a human being. Because in future, if somebody says, you see, Lord Ramachandra, he had these qualities. So then people would say, he is God, I'm not God.
Yeah.
So glorification of the Supreme Lord are great personalities. Sometimes which are done with the purpose of setting an example.
Okay.
People would live up to the standards. Sometimes his glorification becomes against the purpose of the glorification by saying that, oh, he is great, so he can be like that. I'm not great.
Mm.
So that becomes a nepa, that becomes an excuse. So she is using that excuse.
Yeah.
Lord Shiva's greatness. You are great, but I am not. I am just a woman.
Yeah.
I don't have any knowledge about all these things. And anyhow, people are bewildered by the modes of nature. And I am a woman. I have the birthright to be bewildered. I am ignorant. Don't think everybody is like you. So Lord Shiva's greatness, she is using it as an excuse. That you are great, you can be like that, but I cannot be so. I'm unfortunate. I'm useless. I'm nonsense. So you have to accept my nonsense. So I want to go and see my birthplace. That's her argument. It's not an argument, actually, it's an excuse.
Yeah.
Ignorance and Lord Shiva's greatness becomes an excuse for her to become more ignorant. I am like that, so whatever you want to do. I am like that, I'll be like that only. So she goes on saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not the only person. See, you are Atma Rama, you are a hard-hearted person. But I'm not hard-hearted person. I want to go and see my relatives. You see all those women, they are going in nicely decorated airplanes.
Yeah.
And you are such a great person. You show mercy to the entire world. And can't you not show mercy to me? You drank poison to save the world. I'm your wife. Can't you show some mercy to me? Like that.
I feel so
Very
exposed. Yes.
Very intelligent. Women are very intelligent. That is why it is said that you should not argue with 4 kinds of people.
Okay.
Children, old people, women, and mad people.
Oh.
Don't argue. Because you have to surrender. Just listen and take. Don't argue.
What's the alternative though? You can't argue, but you can't accept everything they say also. Then what do you do?
You don't accept, just hear and take.
Okay. So she makes further argument here. She's telling, oh, best of the demigods, how can the body of a daughter remain undisturbed when she hears that some festive event is taking place in her father's house? Even though you may be considering that I have not been invited, there is no harm if one goes to the house of one's friend, husband, spiritual master, or father without invitation. O immortal Shiva, please be kind towards me and fulfill my desire. You have accepted me as half of your body. Therefore, please show kindness towards me and accept my request. These subtleties, Maharaj, so nice. So she is telling, okay, even if you're not invited to the guru's house, father's house, friend's house, and husband's house, you can go without invitation. Later, Lord Shiva will take this further, the nuances. Yes, you can go uninvited, but however, given that that person is not going to find fault in you, they are not angry and envious towards you. So how do we really understand all these nuances, subtleties of Vedic etiquette?
So, the Vedic etiquette is very complicated. It requires a lot of sensitivity. And the sensitivity is based on respecting elders, considering friends as equals, sharing, and then those who are junior to you, forgiving them. And that is how we show these interactions in the Vedic culture. So Lord Shiva is very compassionate, and he did not fight with her. Rather, he advised her. And then the womanly nature took over, and then she had. So there was a conflict within her mind. Should I go or not go? Come in the verses.
Yes.
So then she was overpowered by the womanly nature, and she went. So the problem is not with having some desires, but the problem is transgressing the etiquette. Then all the problem starts.
So Maharaj, you talked about her womanly nature took over. So everybody, each individual has this lower nature, higher nature. Sometimes it's our lower nature that takes over, and we behave and speak and act in a way that is not very exemplary. And at times our higher nature comes out, and then we act in a very exemplary way. So what can we do regardless of whether it's a man, woman, or whoever? So this conflict is always there between higher and lower natures. So in what can we do in order to more frequently nourish and exhibit the higher nature and not really give in to the lower nature?
So that happens only when we are in a strong association of devotees and have a strong affection for a particular the guru and strong sadhana. So by which we can overcome the lower nature and be situated in the higher nature. Otherwise, it's impossible. At that time, if somebody was there with Sati who would explain to her, then she would have changed. When there is a decision has to be taken, this side, that side. So that is why mitra, mitam prayatiti mitraha. You need to have a friend who advises you to overcome the lower nature and then be situated on the transcendental platform.
So Maharaj, you said if there was somebody, but who better than Shiva? Shiva himself, now we will see in the next several verses, he's doing such an excellent job of explaining to her from various angles. He's not even leaving any room for doubt. He explicitly says, don't go. And if you go, what is going to be the consequence? Everything he laid it out. He bared it right in front of her. But still she did go.
So that's why the Bhagavatam gives these examples on how one, if you transgress the orders of a Mahat, what will be the consequences? So Bhagavatam gives very extreme examples to highlight a particular point. When you don't listen to a personality like Lord Shiva, then what is the consequence? Death is the consequence. Yeah.
Okay. So just quote few verses of Lord Shiva, very, very nice response from him. Shri Bhagavan Tvayoditam Shobhanam Eva Shobhane Anahuta Apyabhiyanti Bandhusho Te Yadyanutpadita Dosha Drishtayo Baliya Sanatmyamadena Manyuna. The great Lord replied, my dear beautiful wife, you have said that one may go to a friend's house without being invited, and this is true, provided such a friend does not find fault with the guest because of bodily identification and thereby become angry towards him. This we've already talked about. Although the six qualities, education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage, are for the highly elevated, one who is proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities. So, Maharaj, generally we think these qualities of education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, heritage are good things. But however, if it is leading to pride, somebody becomes proud as a result of these things. Like Kunti Maharani also said, Janmaishwarya, Shruta Shribir, Edamana, Madhav Puman. So, how can actually good qualities lead to our downfall if it leads to pride?
See, pride is something which comes from the good quality and destroys the same good quality. It has been compared to that of the white ants, termite. The termite comes from the wood and eats the same wood. So humility is such a quality which makes even a disqualified person qualified. So disqualification becomes a qualification, qualification becomes disqualification. So with humility, disqualification becomes qualification, whereas the pride makes a qualification into disqualification.
But it's really challenging, isn't it, Maharaj, to be humble despite having all these things? Like Kunti Maharani also said, you are the treasure of those who are materially impoverished. But we can't voluntarily embrace poverty and become impoverished so we can be humble. Like they say, even a pauper can be proud of his penny.
So Kunti Maharani, she says that the prayers, Namo Akinchana Vittaya. Now, poverty is different from empowerishment or akinchanatva. Here, akinchanatva doesn't mean poverty. There may be a poor person who is attached to whatever positions he has or which he doesn't have. There may be a rich person who may not be attached to whatever he has. So here word akinchana means one who doesn't consider anything in this world as his possession other than Krishna as his wealth. One who considers Krishna as his only wealth. Otherwise all poor people would be called as devotees, and no, it is not poverty. So akinchanatva means one who considers only Krishna as his wealth and all the other wealth as insignificant. That's the thing.
Okay. Maharaj, I just want to go back a little bit here. So although Lord Shiva is speaking like this, in the 15th verse, I wanted to point this out, but I had forgotten. The great sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva, the deliverer of the hill Kailasa, having thus been addressed by his dear wife, replied smilingly, although at the same time he remembered the malicious, heart-piercing speeches delivered by Daksha before the guardians of the universal affairs. So externally he's smiling as he's speaking, but internally, even an exalted personality like Shiva, like several times in this talk itself, you said he's Atma Rama. But even an Atma Rama, a self-satisfied person, looks like even he's hurt by the heart-piercing speeches of Daksha. So although he did not respond there, he heard them and it has affected him.
Though Lord Shiva is highly in mode of goodness, nothing of these things affect. But still, he is in contact with mode of ignorance. He is in charge of mode of ignorance. So because of that, these lamentation, all these things, they arise in him. But they don't disturb his love for Krishna. So in this way, you cannot compare Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna also has shows this lamentation, illusion, attachment, like he has fear from Yashoda. And sometimes he cries in separation from the gopis. But this is not because of some modes of nature, it is because of the nature of transcendental love. Whereas Lord Shiva, though he is smiling, he is self-satisfied. But in his heart, these things are there, but they don't affect him. They don't affect him. That's how it is.
Okay. So going further, in 18th verse, one should not go to anyone's house, even on the consideration of his being a relative or a friend, when the man is disturbed in his mind and looks upon the guest with raised eyebrows and angry eyes. Lord Shiva continued, if one is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative, for such grief continues to rend one's heart day and night. So Maharaj, this is very, very hard. I mean, years may pass, but the words keep haunting. So what is the solution for this? Even Lord Shiva is acknowledging the wounds by arrows can be healed, but words, piercing words can be very, very painful from a relative close, near and dear one.
Yeah, it is true.
So what do we do
Hmm.
about it? How do we get rid of that hurt? How do we heal from this and move on?
How do you get rid of it? When you don't care much for those.
Mm.
See, in this world, hmm, the every object in this world has a value only to the extent you have value for it.
Mm. Yeah.
If somebody has spoken some words,
Mm.
what is the value of the word? What he has spoken or she has spoken? How much ever you give the value to that extent that words have value.
That is powerful. Mm.
As simple as that. So, for example, there is a shop which is selling liquor.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, there is a very wonderful liquor bottle which is costing 1 lakh rupees because it's very old. Uh, and now there's many people have, oh, 1 lakh, what a wonderful liquor. But for a devotee, what is the value of it?
Zero.
Zero, because he doesn't want it. He doesn't value
Mm.
it.
Mm.
Uh, doesn't value it.
Yeah.
On the way, one devotee was driving me. I
Mhm.
just saw a huge advertisement of, I don't know what watch company it is.
Uh-huh.
Ride or something,
Uh-huh.
some watch. It's a huge advertisement, this watch. Then I just asked the devotee, people still buy watches or what these days because you have mobile, everything is there in the mobile. Why would I watch? I never watch any in my life.
Yeah.
So anyhow, if you have mobile, you can just look at the time. Then this person told me that people are crazy about watches.
Mm.
There are watches which are worth 10 lakh rupees, he told me.
Yes. Yes.
10 lakhs, what about 10 lakhs? What is there in the, just to see the time? It is not, no, it has got the brand.
Yeah.
He told a couple of companies' names. And I was shocked. Hmm. So, whether any objects or a person or the speech, you ascribe the value, and
Mm.
those words or objects haunt you, and you
Mm.
suffer.
Mm.
Who is the cause of suffering? You are the cause of suffering.
Yeah.
Somebody has told that you're a fool, you're an idiot. Okay, now, who cares? Dogs are also barking. You're also
Mm.
barking. Oh, Hare Krishna, now it's wonderful. Oh.
Yeah.
So you're barking in English, they are barking in some other language. I don't know what it is. So, this is the only way you have to change your attitude.
Mm. That's amazing, Maharaj. Very, very practical. Yeah. So next he goes on to address Sati, saying, "My dear white-complexioned wife, it is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the pet. Yet you will not be honored at his house because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with me." What is this nature of expanded envy, Maharaj? It is a very, very nice point that Lord Shiva is telling. When you hate somebody, you start hating everything connected with them. So what is this all expansive, all consuming nature of envy?
The snake may bite you only the tip of your finger, but the poison spread towards the body.
Mm, mm,
So, in the same way, the envy within your heart, it is reflected in every object you see,
mm,
in every person you see. So, this envy makes you hate practically everyone, including the person whom you love the most.
mm, mm.
Uh, Like, for example, in a family, one lady becomes very envious of someone.
Yeah.
And now, because of that envy and then hatred, she comes home and she loves husband, she loves the children. Now, her love for her husband and children becomes secondary and her hatred becomes primary.
Yeah.
So when she's expressing her hatred for that person in front of children whom she loves so much, or husband whom she loves, when they say, leave it now, Then we say, you are supporting him or her. She start hating that person also. Actually, they told something to make her peaceful and satisfied. And we make out of their concern they told. Now she start hating that person whom she loves.
Yeah.
So the whole world is that nothing but the reflection of your heart.
Mm.
If you have Krishna in your heart, you can see Krishna everywhere. If you're envy, you can see only envy everywhere. If you're love, you can see love everywhere. As simple as that.
Mm.
That is the reason the whole world, everybody's endeavor should only to purify one's consciousness.
Yes.
All the achievements are zero if
Yes.
the consciousness doesn't become pure. That is why Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tektva atma shuddhayet. Atma shuddhayet, karma kurvanti. Why one has to perform karma or activities or every activity in this world, perception in this world is just meant for purification of the heart. As simple as that.
Nice, very nice. So Lord Shiva continues, one who is conducted by false ego and thus always distressed, both mentally and sensually, cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized persons. Being unable to rise to the standard of self-realization, he envies such persons as much as demons envy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now Lord Shiva himself is telling what is the actual reason why Daksha is envious of Lord Shiva. Param Padam. He is not able to attain the position that Lord Shiva has. So Maharaj, until now you've been explaining how we should not be envious. But what if we are the object of envy? Poor Shiva, right? I mean, I'm saying it in a light way, but Shiva is so exalted. He has done nothing to irk Daksha. But however, Daksha is envious. What so? When somebody is at the receiving end of envy, what should we do?
See, Lord Shiva is speaking these words, understanding that Sati would say, my father is envious of you because there is some fault in you.
Hmm.
Hmm?
Mhm.
So Lord Shiva says, ah, he hates me. And he has displayed, he expressed his hatred for me. And the kind of hatred what he showed in front of everyone
Mhm.
can be compared to that of the demons hating the Lord,
Mm.
Krishna. Do you think when the demons hate Krishna, is it because of some fault in Krishna? See, I have nothing to do with Daksha.
Yeah.
I have no hatred. If you don't believe, go and ask Krishna. For this, there is no answer. I can tell I have no hatred.
Mm.
If you don't believe, just ask Krishna. That's all. So, the question is that when somebody is envious of you without you doing, have not done anything,
Mm.
there is no way other than think of Krishna.
Mm.
That means being Krishna conscious. If you're not Krishna conscious, what happens is their envy for you will reflect as envy for them in your heart.
Oh.
So the solution is to be Krishna conscious.
Mm.
To save oneself from being envious and also to save ourselves from being envious after being the object of envy.
Mm.
Yeah.
It is so difficult to practice, Maharaj. Intellectually, it is starting to sink in and make sense, but yeah, we have to go on. All we can do is endeavor, depend on Krishna Guru's mercy.
Yeah, that is why he says that the Supreme Lord who is in everybody's heart, Prajnehi parasmai purushaya chetasa guhashayaiva na dehamanina. Uh, so the only way that I can save myself is to think of Krishna. That's all. So the world is very dangerous. When people are envious of you, it is actually a test for you. It's a test of your Krishna consciousness.
Wow. So Maharaj, you just quoted this line, so I just want to revisit that shloka, 22nd shloka. My dear young wife, certainly friends and relatives offer mutual greetings by standing up, welcoming one another, and offering obeisances. But those who are elevated to the transcendental platform, being intelligent, offer such respects to the super soul who is sitting within the body, not to the person who identifies with the body. How beautifully Lord Shiva is explaining. So this whole thing, Daksha said you didn't stand up, but here he's saying, he's clearly explaining his stance. He's saying those who are elevated to the transcendental platform offer such respects to the super soul within them, not to the person identifying with the body.
At that time, actually,
Mm-hmm.
Daksha, when he saw Lord Shiva not standing up, Lord Shiva was actually totally Krishna conscious. He did not even know Daksha came.
Yes.
So that is a state which Lord Shiva is explaining here. So I was completely engrossed in paying obeisances to Krishna, respecting Krishna. Then what is superior? He is worshipping Krishna. I did not do this out of intention because I was in samadhi. He's just clarifying. If Sati would ask, why we could have just respected him now? I was not even knowing that he has come.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would I have respected? Yeah.
Yes. So he goes on to clearly say, therefore, you should not see your father, although he is the giver of your body, because he and his followers are envious of me. Because of his envy, O most worshipful one, he has insulted me with cruel words, although I am innocent. If, in spite of this instruction, you decide to go, neglecting my words, the future will not be good for you. You are most respectable, and when you are insulted by your relative, this insult will immediately be equal to death. So Krishna also told Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, to those who have been honored, dishonor is worse than death.
Yes. Not only that here, the purpose of he saying that you go without my order, transgressing my order, if you ignore, यदि व्रजिष्यस् atihaya madvacho. If you do that, what is going to happen? Death will come. So Lord Shiva predicted that death is going to come to her. Humiliation will lead to death. So it is not just humiliation. Humiliation and death is also going to come. So Sati is going to give up her body. Lord Shiva predicted here on.
So moving on to the next chapter, you are going to say something, Mara?
No.
Okay, so more transitioning into the next chapter, chapter number 4, where Sati quits her body. The sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati, seeing her between decisions. How nicely put, between decisions. Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house, but at the same time, she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning. Her mind unsettled, she moved in and out of the room as a swing moves this way and that. Why is it so hard for her, Maharaj? When she is the wife of Lord Shiva. She is highly qualified. Why is it sometimes so difficult to accept the authorities' advice, instruction?
Attachments. Attachment. Which makes you think that if I get what I like, then I'll be more happy. So what is good and what makes you feel good? So what makes you feel good? That means you're hearing to the instructions of your mind. So influence of mind is very strong. This is what is going to happen.
Okay. So Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house, and due to affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much afflicted, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. So she's really angry.
Yeah. The problem is that the disciples and generally juniors, they want their authorities to speak what they like, give orders what they like. So instead of pleasing the authority, they want the authority to please you. The guru, oh, I don't like what guru told me. Because you become so self-centered that you think that you are the most important person there. So when you think the whole world and is around you and you are the center of the world, this problem comes. Everybody in this world is just meant for my satisfaction. I like, I don't like. As if the creation has been done so that so that you can like it. Well, what it matters whether you like or don't like. So she did not like what Lord Shiva told. Arjuna surrendered to Krishna by saying that Sarvametadratam Manye. The word is Sarvametadratam Manye. It is not that, okay, I like certain things. Okay, you told 10 points. Fine, 2 points, very good. I like it. Other things I did not like. And you don't like anything. You like your mind. When somebody speaks according to your liking, then you say, I like it. So what is his liking and dislike? It's all crazy.
These are also very, very enlightening points. So where is the question of surrender if we've already made up our mind and all we want is a rubber stamp from the authority, our guru? So we are not basically seeking permission, just approval. I've already made up my mind. I just need your approval. So where is the question of surrender here then?
Yeah, it's not there. Surrender is not there. So she had the fear for her husband, at the same time had attachment for the relatives. So she chose to give up her husband. And who is that husband? She is ardham madat satam priyaha yu ardham. Ardham means she is half the body. And what is the reason? Because strainya vimudadir krihan. Because she is a stree. The reason is she has had intelligence for intelligent vimudadhi because of stree. That is the reason women are supposed to be under the complete shelter of either father, husband, or the son, grown-up son. Because independence to woman is very dangerous. Pitro ragat, strainya vimuda. Strainya vimuda. It is the nature of woman to be deluded, easily getting captivated to material existence.
Okay. So very sad. Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half of his body due to affection. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Why wouldn't Lord Shiva stop her? He knew exactly what was going to happen. He is her husband. He could have stopped.
Lord Shiva is very intelligent. That is why he did not stop. Because he knew she did not listen to him now. He tried his best to stop. Mm. So, but at the same time, Lord Shiva wanted to protect her.
Mm.
And the desire of Lord Shiva was understood by Nandi. So they all went to protect her.
Yeah.
So it is not that Lord Shiva did not protect her. He had a great desire to protect her, but he protected through his followers.
Mm.
Sometimes it so happens that when a father and son is not listening to the father, and the son has become totally mad and crazy, he just shouts at the father and then goes. Then the father becomes very distressed. He could go and just catch hold of the son and then put him in the room, beat him, thrash him, he can do that, but that's not going to work because they're not dumb dry machines. They're conscious people. So what he does, he goes to his wife, that is the boy's mother, says, he do something. So then she goes to convince the boy. So that is the nature. It is not that Lord Shiva had very hard-hearted. You don't want to listen to me, at last do whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, it was not like that. It is not the nature of Lord Shiva. Yeah.
So Maharaj, this balance to strike between love and detachment, right? I mean, you love somebody, you want the best of the everything for them. You can see it clearly, but because they are deluded at times, they cannot see it. In this case, Shiva is able to see, but Sati is not. But yet, he has to respect her free will. She is choosing to go. Similarly, Krishna also, whole 18 chapters, he spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, but he did not force. He loves Arjuna so much. Again and again and again, he's telling, I'm giving you most confidential, more confidential, again and again. But here he says, Yata ichchasi tata kuru. Whatever you wish, you please deliberate and you take a call. So it's very hard to strike this love and detachment, that balance.
Sometimes, if you want to teach a person who is a child, who is childish and womanish, the best way is to just give advice and say, you decide. Because when you ask a woman or a child to decide, they become crazy. Their mind toggles, goes on here and there, and that makes them pacified and surrendered. So there's a nature to deal with this is how you deal with their nature. Leave. So that is how she became completely affectionate to Lord Shiva when she was not respected when he went.
Yeah.
She surrendered there to Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva did not interfere in their free will. If she had interfered in the free will, she would have just given him 2 big slaps and then get locked in the room. He could have done that very, very well. But that increases their hatred. You can do this thing in a measured way, but not always. In general, it is yatha it is tatakuru, with concern. What to speak of major decision like this? I still remember in our childhood, we used to go along with parents here and there for some shopping. So when they go for the shopping, the ladies go for shopping, they have a great desire. I want to buy this, I want to buy this. So they go to the shop and then take different saris, and they ultimately after 2 hours they would bring a few saris. Which one should I buy? The husband, who is very intelligent, and he wants that she has not to buy anything of here in the shop. You just say, you decide, I don't know. No, you decide with this one or this one. I don't know, they both are useless. Is it? Okay, I don't want to buy. So this decision-making capacity is is very poor in a woman, in a child also.
Mm.
So then what happens? You have to leave them. If you force, you buy this only, don't buy this only, then they are they become antagonistic to you, more antagonistic to you. So that's the nature, how you teach. I can teach you, you decide. You know very well what I want. No, I don't agree. Okay, don't agree. I'm not forcing you. Do. So then the toggle happens, going out, going in, going in. Either now or later, they surrender.
Maharaj, because so much. Yeah, go ahead, Maharaj. I think I interrupted you. You wanted to say? About this conversation today, because of the kind of subject that we are discussing, there is so much of this, right? Womanly nature, womanly nature. Is that just because of one is in a womanly body? Because sometimes I see even men are more feminine, and sometimes even women are more, when I say masculine, in their thought process, like you said, for women they can't make decisions, but there are quite a few women who can make decisions and maybe good decisions also. Sometimes in the home, most of the decisions are made by the women only.
Yeah. Okay, since you brought this point about psychology of woman and man, as long as one considers herself as a woman, all these problems are going to haunt her. And as long as somebody considers himself to be a man means Purusha, the enjoyer of woman, he will have more suffering because he wants to enjoy suffering. So woman's body means suffering. Woman's conscious mind means suffering only. But now this man who thinks I'm a man, he wants to enjoy suffering. Then what happens? He'll suffer more. He becomes more womanish.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So he become more womanish. That's the reason. That is the point you say. So these days men are so attached to women because they don't study in Gurukul. Since if somebody is studying in Gurukul, he knows how to take his own bath, how to wash his own clothes. He's independent. And since they are not trained, men are not trained as men, they become more woman than woman.
Yes, I agree.
So the problem is not in being a woman or a man. The problem is considering oneself to be a woman is a problem. If you consider yourself to be a devotee of Krishna, Krishna's servant, then there's no problem. So woman's body and psychology is actually so much of suffering, emotional suffering, because small things becomes a big thing for them. So it's and now this man who thinks I'm a man want to enjoy what he wants to enjoy suffering, suffer more. So he becomes a bigger woman. So he becomes a bit different species altogether. The woman of woman or something like that. That is why Strainya, like the Sharata. What condition he had? What was his condition? Because of his attachment to Kaikai. He became worse than a woman. So the best thing is man should be detached from a woman. And a woman should be attached to the man who is detached. That makes things perfect.
Amazing, Maharaj. Definitely, I can relate to that. It's very hard in today's world to find a man who is really a man. Like man means like man consciousness. Like you talked about woman, like a man, like a real man, not just bodily.
Yes.
So Maharaj, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Lord Shiva perhaps think that even in case if he had stopped her, she would have still perhaps ended her life because that attachment was so much for her family, especially the father? She would have met the same end whether she went or did not go.
Very difficult to say. Because it's a pastime, we have to discuss what the pastime talks about. What if she would have stayed back, and that is speculation.
No. It was not a speculation. I read it in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's. Right in the beginning of the chapter, he made a comment like that.
Acha?
Yeah.
What if she would have stayed back?
Yeah. He actually makes a comment whether, regardless of whether she would have gone or not gone, she would have ended her life.
Acha. Okay. I did not see that.
So Maharaj, he does go, and like you said her follower, sorry, Lord Shiva's followers, Lord Shiva did not say a word, but still the followers went with her, and very nicely they protected and took her to the sacrificial arena. So the word used was Anucharakas. So who is Anucharaka? How nicely, without Lord Shiva telling, how nicely they understood the intention of their master.
So there are three kinds of disciples. One who doesn't follow the order of the spiritual master.
Uh-huh.
Other one who follows the orders of the spiritual master after a spiritual master telling those orders. And the third, or the first class category, are those who are don't even wait for the orders. They understand the mind of the spiritual master or the husband or anybody whom you want to please. They are known as Ingitagya. Ingitagya. Ingitagya means one who can understand the heart. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam. Sabitam Yena Bhutale. Knowing the heart. Lord Shiva, he did not order them to go, but they understood what was the intention. So to understand the intention, the heart of the spiritual master, or your guru, or your husband, or anybody, like for example, a mother should know what, without even telling what to cook.
Yeah.
Ask, do you want to eat or what? Naturally, what the person will say, I don't want to eat, get lost. Is that a question to ask? Isn't it? What you would like to eat, that should be understood. So these servants of Lord Shiva, Nandi, so expert in understanding the heart of Lord Shiva.
Nice, very nice. So Sati does reach the sacrificial arena. So when Sati with her followers reached the arena, because all the people assembled were afraid of Daksha, none of them received her well. No one welcomed her but her mother and sisters, who with tears in their eyes and with glad faces welcomed her and talked with her very pleasingly. Although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to their words of reception. And although she was offered a seat and presents, she did not accept anything, for her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare. So, Maharaj, how futile these relationships in the material world are. That friends can become enemies, enemies can become friends just like that. Until long time ago, as recently, she was the pet daughter. Daksha loved her so much. Now, just because she is married to Shiva and he is envious of Shiva, he completely ignored her. Why do we invest so much in these relationships when ultimately anything can flip anytime?
You asked the question and answered those.
Why?
We already answered it. Why we should do that? So affection of a materialistic person is like this only. Kansa. What is Kansa doing? He was so affectionate to Devaki, he became a driver. Just one Akashvani came, immediately took her hairs in her hand, his hand, and then took a sword. Want to kill.
Yes.
So don't trust the affection of the materialistic person. That is the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita.
Correct.
And the affections of this world, in this world, by people of this world, they are nothing but a emotion to make a fool out of you. That's called moha.
Yeah.
You think that the person loves you, but actually there is no love.
Yeah.
Love can only be with Krishna. There can be no love with anybody in this world.
Yeah.
If at all there is any love for anybody in this world, it can be through Krishna. Krishna is in their heart as Paramatma, Krishna, and everybody is a parts of Krishna. In this way, there can be love on a transcendental platform
Mm.
to other living entities. Otherwise,
Yeah,
no love.
yeah, yeah. So, Maharaj, this is why my most favorite verse in Bhagavad Gita is the first chapter, first verse. That is because the way you explained it. In fact, that was one of the very first lectures I heard of yours. And the way you explained it with your own father's example and all that, oh my God, it was so striking. You just exposed the nature of material love. It is like removing all the rosy eyes and like bearing this is what world is and this is what you can expect. So, Maharaj, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through all the verses here, but this whole section here, Sati really, I mean, she takes Daksha to task when she sees that everybody is getting their sacrificial offering, but her husband is not. There is not a seat reserved for him, and there is no sacrificial offering for him. And she goes on. Of course, all the Anucharas, they want to kill Daksha, but she stops them from doing that. And so, actually, we can almost do like a parallel study. In the second chapter, the kind of painful, striking words that Daksha used, and now the way Sati is exposing and taking her father to task, she is really taking all those points what he made and she is actually flipping it on him. So, what can you please tell us about this whole section, the way Sati is talking to Daksha here?
So 13 verses,
Yes.
she criticizes Daksha.
Mm.
Mm. So she says, there is no one who is more superior to Lord Shiva because he's self-satisfied. He's a self-satisfied person. Nayasya lokesti atishayanaha priyaha. Tata priyo dehabritam priyatmanaha. So he is dehabritam priyatmanaha. He is dear to everyone and everybody is dear to him. He is dear to everyone and he loves everyone. He said that is why he's atishayanaha. He is so great.
Mm.
And who else in this world other than Daksha can hate him? Hmm? Now, in comparison with Daksha, what is the position of Lord Shiva? That is described in the 12th verse. Most important verse of the entire section.
Okay.
Doshan pareshan hi guneshu sadhavo vinanti ke chinna bhavadrishodvija gunansya falgon bahuli karishvano mahattamanstvesha vidad bhavanagam. I had the great opportunity of speaking on this verse in Haridwar, where this pastime happened.
Oh.
Maybe it was a couple of years, maybe 3 years or 4 years back.
Uh-huh.
His Holiness Shri Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj had this yatra to Haridwar.
Mm.
That lecture was based on this particular verse,
Okay, okay.
where 4 kinds of Mahatmas are described
Mm.
and 4 kinds of Duratmas are described.
Mm.
Now, Sadhu, Mahatma, Sadhu. One is Sadhu, Sadhutara, Sadhutama, Ati Sadhutama.
Mm.
On the other hand, Asadu, Asadutara, Asadutama, Ati Asadutama. So, what are the qualities of these 4 kinds of people, of sadhus? Doshan, Pareshan, hi Guneshu Sadhavaha. Sadhus, what they do? Doshan, Pareshan, they actually see the good conduct of people, even though there are faults. Like, for example, somebody gives you a glass of Karela juice.
Mm.
Hey, not bitter. No, actually medicinal. So it's bitter, but you see the medicine in it. And on the other hand, Asadu, what does he do? Even though a person gives you a nice glass of lemon juice, then he says, no, no, there are some seeds in it. Lemon seeds are in it.
Mm.
He'll find some bad thing in that. Hmm. Now, The second is sadhu tara. Sadhu tara. What does he do? He sees the faults in others. Grinante kechin bhavadrisho dvija gunan falgun. He takes one quality, mahattara, and then he makes it a big thing, small quality. Gunanja falgun bahuli karishpana. So though there may be faults, but he takes that one good quality and then makes a very big thing. On the other hand, you have asadu tara. He takes one bad quality and then makes into a big thing. Just see these sannyasis, they have given up everything just to eat free food. And there's sadhutama. What does he do? He sees actually good thing in a bad thing.
Wow.
How? Somebody came to steal. He came to his house and stole everything. The thieves came and stole everything. Sadhutama thinks, oh, much more. Very free. They could have killed us. They're very merciful. On the other hand, this asadhutama, what he thinks, he takes some fault, magnifies it to such an extent and doesn't see any good at all. See, these sannyasis, they go to the forest and they live on the food given by the householders. The purpose of they taking sannyas is to steal people's money. The biggest thieves. And ati sadhutama, what does he do? In this world, there are no bad people at all. Everything is wonderful. Everything is good. Ati sadhutama. On the other hand, those who are ati asadhutama, like you, he says, like you, Daksha, you just see evil everywhere. The reason is you found even evil in person like Lord Shiva, who has no evil, no fault. You saw fault in him also. That is why you are ati asadhutama. To such an extent, what has happened? You saw fault in Lord Shiva. And this went all the way that you saw fault in Brahma also.
Yes.
And in this way, you offended all the devotees. In this way, you offended Lord himself. That means you have seen fault everywhere. Of course, she says, Nascharyam. There is no much ascharya. This because you are like that. You are an envious person. And the reason for this is Shreyam Mahapurusha Padapam Subir. You did not get this thing. Now here, she makes a very important point. Lord Shiva doesn't even bother about your offenses. But remember, the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees, they don't spare you. You will get the result of it. Of course, this whole section itself can be a podcast. But
Correct.
you have to stop somewhere, isn't it?
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. So Maharaj, quickly, this 21st verse is telling, my dear father, the opulence we possess is impossible for either you or your flatterers to imagine. For persons who engage in fruitive activities by performing great sacrifices are concerned with satisfying their bodily necessities by eating foodstuff offered as a sacrifice. We can exhibit our opulences simply by desiring to do so. This can be achieved only by great personalities who are renounced, self-realized souls. What opulence is she talking about that she has that her father can only imagine but never attain?
She has Lord Shiva as her husband.
Jai.
What else can be a greater perfection than that? So she says to her father, "Oh father, see these renunciation, knowledge, power, all these siddhis and all these things I already possessed. I already have this. You will not attain this. In spite of so many births, you will not be able to attain. But I don't care for all these things, in spite of I having this thing. Now, these powers are available to those who are beyond material enjoyment. But I don't want it anymore now. I want to give up my life. So she gives up her life. Because his body is coming from him. She says that as long as I have this body, people will identify me as Dakshayini. When my husband will say Dakshayini, then my body will burn, my mind. I just cannot tolerate this. She says, Gotram Tadiyam Bhagavan Rishadvajaha Dakshayini Tyahayada Sudurmana. I shall give up this body which is born from you. She gives up her body.
So Maharaj here, when she gives up her body, Prabhupada very nicely writes that when she's actually she's giving up her body, it's actually giving up one's material desires, is what Prabhupada is writing. So you want to make a comment on that? I know you're getting late for your next travel.
Yes, giving up her desire, giving up her body, both are same. But here, Sati really gave up her body, which is made up of desires. She takes birth as the daughter of Himalayas. And that is why she becomes Parvati. Sati becomes Parvati.
Yes, very nice. So Maharaj, somewhere here I read, but now I'm not able to actually go and find it. I should have noted it down. Prabhupada makes a brilliant statement where he says, externally it seemed like she did not listen to her husband's orders and she went to her father's place. But actually, internally, the real reason why she came was to glorify Lord Shiva and establish his superior position.
Yes, but that is the purpose of the pastime.
Yeah. So that was very
because
nice.
in Bhagavatam, every verse or every prasanga, every chapter is meant to glorify Krishna, Krishna Bhakti, and Bhakta.
Amazing. So Maharaj, quickly Brahmastra, I'm going to keep it really quick. So basically Maharaj, I'm going to give you a dozen different things where you have to say whether it is a display of affection or attachment. So the way is affection means it's based on spiritual connection. Attachment means bodily attachment, bodily connection. So Karna's loyalty to Duryodhana.
It is attachment.
Arjuna's initial refusal to fight in the war of Kurukshetra.
Attachment.
Vidura's concern for Dhritarashtra that he comes back from the Vidura Maitreya Samvada just to deliver him.
Affection.
Bharata refusing to rule the city of Ayodhya without Rama.
Affection.
Vibhishana leaving Ravana to side with Rama.
Affection.
Devahuti's service to Kardama Muni.
Affection.
Not attachment. Serving her husband.
Is Kardama. He's not ordinary person.
Okay. Kunti Devi pleading Krishna not to leave Hastinapura and go to Dwaraka.
Affection.
Yudhishthir Maharaj lamenting and holding himself accountable for this major massacre that happened in Kurukshetra.
Attachment.
Okay. Urmila, the wife of Lakshmana, not accompanying her husband just like Sita accompanied Rama, but she stays back in Ayodhya.
Affection to Ram.
Okay. Rukmini wanting to marry Krishna and only Krishna and nobody else.
That's explicitly affection for Krishna.
Mhm. Dasharatha leaving his body in separation from Lord Rama.
Affection, in one sense.
Okay. A spiritual master's dealings with his or her disciples.
Yeah, affection only. Affection for Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Maharaj. That's it. So I know you have a train to catch, so I'm not going to keep you here for any longer. So thank you so much, Maharaj. Definitely, this is a episode that I have to definitely watch it multiple times, not only to absorb it intellectually, and I don't think lifetime is going to be enough to actually absorb and internalize these teachings and actually put them into practice. So thank you so much, Maharaj, for bringing all these lessons to life. I'm definitely going to try my best to absorb them. And so thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this 55th episode. I hope you liked it, and I hope you had a lot of reflections to ponder on. So we will be coming back in the next episode, 56th episode. So this episode is not ending here. So this news is going to go to Lord Shiva. So unlike the first time when he was insulted, where Lord Shiva tolerated so much, but this time when Sati leaves her body, his dear wife, so is he going to tolerate or is he going to do something different? That we will find out in the next episode. So until then, keep listening to the episodes of Pariprashna. In just one link, you can catch up all the episodes. So we will see you very soon. Until then, as always, stay inquisitive and stay Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.